Hello and welcome back to the Get to Know podcast, the podcast where, as the title suggests, we get to know someone each and every week. However, today we have a slightly different episode. This episode will be coming out on the Sunday the 19th? 19th I think it is, or the 20th. Either way, basically, the Wednesday coming up, was it the 21st? I was like, am I completely wrong? Okay, the 21st. So, on this Wednesday coming up, it's the 24th, and that is my birthday. Yay! So I thought, what better way to do a celebration podcast than flip the get to know on myself, get a guest on to ask me questions so you can get to know MxZ. And so who better to do it than someone who's already had an episode, has his own podcast, so knows what he's doing, the host of the Box to Box podcast, Liam. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me on, mate. How are we?
I'm good. How are you, Ray?
I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. I'm in good spirits.
All right. So you have a couple questions to ask me and get to know me. I am quite nervous.
I do indeed, mate. I won't be nervous, mate. I won't be too nervous. Maybe a little bit, but not too much.
I normally have a little book by my side of everything I know that I'm going to be talking about, and not having that, I'm like on edge. I don't know what's going to be asked, so
you'll be fine, mate.
Yeah.
Just when we get about halfway through, I'll ask you a question, and then it's a bit scary, but you know.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. All right. Well, let's get started then.
Let's get started. So, over in England, weather's been a bit crap recently, hasn't it? You know, it's not been the best. Today's been a bit brighter, but it's been a bit rainy over the past few days. And obviously, you and your family love to go on walks. So, to start off the podcast, I want to ask you, where's the best place you've been on a walk with your family? And have you got any funny stories that's ever happened while you've been on your walks? Maybe an ex-girlfriend slipping over or something like that.
These are set up. All right. Well, we'll scrap half the question and go to the one that you clearly wanted me to talk about with an ex-girlfriend. Names shall not be named. But okay, so it was back in year 7, 8, something like that, I think. Okay, so me and my ex from way back when, we would walk down there, and I can't actually remember why, but we were secretly together at the time because I can't remember, something happened and we went together. So she was a bit paranoid that like someone would see us out or something. So then one of my brother's mates walked like behind us while we were on this little wooden path with a little stream by the side of it. I went, oh look, there's that person. She turned around 180. Her foot went completely off the ridge. She fell arse flat into this little stream and just lay there. And I just stood staring at her in this like little stream. I didn't know what to do. Just covered in mud. It was fantastic. So there's.
I wish I'd do it.
Yeah, so there's that story for you, which you clearly wanted. Any other best? Okay, let's go to best walks then. That's an interesting one actually. Okay, so we've been on a lot of walks in the Lake District, Keswick area. They're always quite nice. Like the views are just pretty good. There's one where we did a bit of a circle and came across this big like lake. Obviously, it's the Lake District, and
what a coincidence.
And yeah, we just spent a bit of time like frolicking in the lake and things like that. A funny story, actually, on top of that, there was, so obviously when you get these like mountainy places, there's always sheep everywhere.
Yeah.
And so we decided to, on this path, just sit down next to it wasn't actually a lake, this one, it was a tarn, I think it's called, like a little pond in the middle of a mountain. Right. We sat by the side of it, and all of a sudden these sheep just started going mental from like every side, just like barring. What on earth's going on? Suddenly we see a stampede of like, it must have been like 40-50 sheep legging it across the path. We were like off the path, but we were pretty close to it. But we all just jumped in the tarn because we were like, they could just stray off the path and smack into us. So we were all just stood there in this little tarn, freezing cold water, bearing in mind it's not like it's England, it's not that warm. And we were just stood there, like all these sheep's coming dead close to us, running straight past us. And I can't imagine what we looked like, just sort of stood there while a stampede of sheep came past.
Yeah, someone's driving past you sees that, good class.
And again, back to the best walks. Walking around Italy, that was quite nice.
I bet that was nice, yeah.
Although we don't tend to do really long walks in like foreign countries, obviously, because it's very hot.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, around the Lake District majority of the time. Yeah.
Right, sticking on the topic of walks, I want to ask you: have you been on like any? Has there been any walks you've been on where it's been really challenging, and you've been like, you've got so far and you've had to like climb up parts, or it's been that bad you've had to turn around? Has any been any really exhilarating walks that you've been on? Don't worry, we'll get more interested on.
Are they all walking related questions?
Yeah. Just the first 17.
Okay. We're going back to the Lake District. It was my family and another family that we went up there at the time with, and it was like a mountainside. It was pretty steep. Or is that the word? Yeah, it was like a big downwards.
Steep.
Steep. Yeah, I think. And we
were downwards.
A big downwards. Yeah, you know what I mean. So we had to go on the outside of this mountain, and there wasn't really a path, and the whole mountain was covered in like, there weren't really pebbles, they were like just thousands and thousands of rocks, and at the bottom of it was a lake. So it was somewhat of a film. We were just like very slowly climbing around this mountain that was just rocks, and so your foot is constantly going because you're constantly slipping down because it's just the little rocks. Like, so you're walking at like the biggest angle ever, and so yeah, that was a bit sketchy. And there was another one as well where it was like at the top of a mountain, there was like another mountain top that it almost looked man-made, and it was like made of like slate. Like loads of slate rocks, and they are slippery. So again, nearly falling off non-stop. This tiny little thin path, and bear in mind it's one way as well, so there's people coming down, so sometimes you have to walk on the outside right next to where you could fall off. And yeah, it's a bit sketchy really, but yeah, they're the two I can think of.
Right. Nice one. I've enjoyed your walking stories, mate. That's all the walk talk for now. We're going to move on to probably the main reason that everyone's came over here. The reason you're probably most known to most listeners, that's obviously YouTube. I just want to start off at the very, very beginning of your YouTube career. When did you start YouTube, and what made you start YouTube?
It's pretty insignificant, like point actually. Well, not insignificant, but so I'd never really thought about doing it. And then on a walk to school one day, me, Josh, and Elliot were just like, I think YouTube's kind of cool. Like, I was like, yeah, it's alright. And all three of us were like, should we start it? This was in like year 8, I think. 8?
YouTube was a lot smaller back then, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah.
Like, it was, don't get me wrong, it was still massive, but there was only like 10 big names, and that's who everyone watched. There wasn't as many smaller channels about them. Yeah.
So we were like, should we make a channel? And we were like, yeah, why not? It turns out I was the only one to do it out of us three. I was the only one to start. But I think my brother had done it like a year before. He gave up after a couple months, but
COD one.
Yeah.
What was it? Road to the Golden Knife, remember? Right?
Yeah. So I'd always sort of seen a bit of it. Although, so it was a bit of a struggle at first. My first few months, I filmed every video on a camera. I got an old, you know, the old cameras that you always see where it's got like a slip and the screen flips out.
Yeah.
And I put that on a tripod and I filmed the screen of gaming, and then if I played with yeah, and if I played with people, I'd get Skype on my phone and balance my phone on the top of the camera so that the camera mic would pick up their voices and my voice. It was pretty sketchy, and sometimes the phone would fall off and you wouldn't get the audio. So yeah, that was that, and then a couple months later I got my first Elgato, which I got rid of 3 months ago. I've had the same one for about 5 or 6 years.
Been a good servant of the channel.
It really has. So yeah, and obviously I never really had that much direction on YouTube as to what I was sort of doing with it until 2 or 3? It might be 3 years now that I've been making the kind of content that I'm making now. But before that, I'd switch constantly. It started with a load of random games, probably a bit Jacksepticeye inspired. Then I went on to doing sort of funny moments. COD was a massive sort of game I based a lot of content around. Then I started doing really clickbaity, like real life kind of, I don't know, it was a mishmash of random stuff. And obviously we got a few memes out of that channel. We've got shout out Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, cooking with MxZ, loads of just
What was the short film we made years and years ago?
Runner. Yeah. See, the thing is, that's kind of what that whole channel was about. So okay, I should probably explain. Before the MxZ channel, I had a channel before that called MxZ634 Gaming.
What a mouthful.
Yeah. Hey guys, MxZ4 Gaming here. And then after probably it might be 3-4 years of making content on there, it got terminated. It's back up now, but yeah. And I started the MxZ.
It's a sad time that was.
Honestly, I actually remember waking up and it just not being there, and
awful.
I had to go to school and Thing is, it kind of surprised me that day, because I went to school and I thought everyone would be like, haha, he lost it. And like 1 or 2 people were, but majority of people were like, that's actually like so shit.
How many videos did you put up on there?
Oh my god. Okay, so bear in mind I've been on my current channel MxZ for probably getting on. It's either I think it's about 4 years. It might be coming up to 4 years. And I'm on 200 to 250 videos. On that channel before that, I think there's about 1,200.
I was going to say, it was about, I can remember hitting your 1,000th video on that channel. I remember doing special for that.
Because I uploaded pretty much every day. Sometimes I'd upload 2. Sometimes I would upload 3, because there was a time where, honestly, I was, without being sad to admit it, I was like desperate for views at some point. And when there was like these like E3 events, I'd upload like 5 or 6 game trailers. I think everyone who did YouTube back in the day whacked up some game trailers.
Back on my old channel, I did a few of them as well. There's a website called, I can't remember the website, it was just like something like YouTube Downloader or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone, all you used to do was copy and paste the URL into it, and that was it. I did it. I'm not gonna lie as well. I've done it a few times as on like Black Ops 2 and stuff, where you create your own emblem.
Oh yeah,
I copied people's emblems and just changed the music over it.
I remember you doing that. I remember that. Yeah, and then so anyway, yeah. Back to the original point of the runner thing. That was all that channel was. It was just me, just like making anything I wanted to make, I'd be like, oh, random idea, yeah, I'll go do that. The editing was awful, the quality was awful, but if I hadn't spent 4 or 5 years on that channel, the quality of my videos now would not be where it's at, because I wouldn't have had that experience with it.
It's a learning curve, isn't it? Exactly.
It is. If it, like, I always say, you might as well start YouTube as early as possible, because if you start it, say, 25, you're not gonna have as much time to even do it. Like, if you're in school, you've got all the time in the world. Just bang out whatever you want to bang out and learn, and then by the time that you're 20, you might even have like, a couple subscribers and your content figured out. Whereas if you start later, it's just the later it is, the harder it is.
I agree, mate.
So
you've got that in the early start. You've got that time before you kind of get to that our age where you've kind of matured a bit. You've got like you can get what you want out, and then you've got the learning of it all as well. You've got longer to learn it all to make it as good as quality as you are making now, mate. So, like I said, it's best to start earlier than usual.
Exactly, you might as well. And yeah, people might be like, oh, squeaker, or your editing's awful, or you might not even have the equipment, but the way I see it is, eventually you'll get the equipment, and then by which time, so if you're filming stuff on a camera like I was, by the time that you've got something to film with, you might have learned how to edit with that other footage, or even just to upload on YouTube. So you've got building blocks on how to start it. Man.
Exactly.
So,
we briefly
earlier the better.
On it. Yeah, exactly. We touched on it earlier with the name, but where did the name MxZ634 Gaming come from? And obviously MxZ now, but where did the name come from? Because it's quite a random name.
It is, and part of me always regrets that my name is MxZ. Part of me likes it, and part of me regrets it. So the story from where it came from is so insignificant as well, because that is literally just, I was sat on Minecraft in year 7 with Josh Carroll, Josh Lead, and Prem.
Oh, Josh Carroll.
And you need a Minecraft username to just start up, and my PS3 username was one that it just gives you. It was, was it? I don't think it. No, actually, I don't think it was. I was a big fan of Assassin's Creed, and you can't just have Assassin as a name. So my username was Rampaging Assassin. However, because the character limit, it was I got rid of all the extra vowels. So Assassin has like 2 S's and stuff. So all of them had like 1 S's, and the name was actually like Rampaging Assassin. So when I moved over to Minecraft on PC, I thought, all right, this is my time. I'm gonna make a sick username. There's people like KSI, that's 3 syllables. People like that. Even though his actually has meaning. So I thought, what letters?
Now. Better definitely didn't have meaning when he started it.
Probably not. I'll make something up for MxZ. Exactly. I mean, the letters are a bit harder.
All over you.
M. We'll have M as
right, let's think
mission.
of it now.
M as mission. X is extraordinary, even though that's an E. And Z is xylophone.
Yeah, that's classmate. It won't look as good when it's tattooed on you, because obviously xylophone's a bit longer than the rest of the words. But I reckon it'd work.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just looked at the keyboard and thought MxZ. Or what if I have the X as a lowercase and the other 2 as bigger, because that looks kind of cooler. What numbers look good together? 634. That sounds good. And then gaming, I just put on the end because that's what I did.
You're a gamer.
I was gamer. So the channel went from MxZ634 Gaming, whittled that down to MxZ634 eventually, whittled that down to just MxZ.
I think it's quite a good name now, though. I think MxZ64 Gaming was quite a mouthful, but I think you've created MxZ as quite a character now. I think obviously the name's short and snappy, it fits well, everyone knows it now.
Yeah,
so I think it turned out well, mate, to be fair.
I mean, back in the day, I used to get screwed over by the fact that, and I didn't realise this at the time, that MxZ is a company.
I can remember I was just trying to find your videos, and all it used to come up with was them them snowmobiles.
Yeah, but luckily I've got to a point now where I'm
now
the top
you're
of the
above
search.
You are
Exactly.
above it now,
Screw
so
you, MxZ
progression.
brand. So yeah,
Right,
hopefully they
but
don't come after me with like a lawsuit at some point. But
should be alright.
be right.
So a little bit of a throwback, right? Obviously, the name MxZ's kind of always been there. You've changed recently to having more of a character behind the channel, obviously with your new creation. You used to have a logo, which was kind of like a few triangles stuck together. What was the meaning behind that for some of the older viewers listening?
Okay, well, you can't see me because I've not got my webcam on, but I'm showing up. I've still got the necklace of it, and that will still always be my logo. Like,
Yeah.
the character's cool, and like that character is MxZ. Like, I'm Isaac. That's MxZ. It sounds a bit weird, but that's kind of my thought process behind it. But the logo will still always resonate because when I set up the channel, I needed a logo, and I downloaded this old like pattern maker, and you could make it out of sort of triangles, and there was like a basic one that already somewhat had the MxZ in it, but with like a load of other lines as well around the sides. And I thought, if I just get rid of that, and a little bit, and add a bit for the M, it kind of shows the letters. It kind of shows, it's like a combination. So you've got the M in the middle.
So your thought process behind it was just to kind of show it.
Yeah,
These triangles kind of spelled MxZ.
Yeah,
kind of.
it's got M in the middle, an X across the center, and then the Z is like over all of it. And honestly, it's probably the best design I've ever done. Still, I do like it, and I have said if I ever got to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, I'm getting it tattooed somewhere. So yeah, it represents the name easy.
Yes, fair point, mate. I want to touch this. Puts me into my next point. So obviously, you used to have this printed on a T-shirt, which I think may be up on the wall behind you, if I remember right. I don't know if you took it down right now.
Yeah, it might be a bit weird, but at one point I had like an MxZ shrine, which is weird because I was MxZ, so it's having a shrine to myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had the T-shirt up in the middle, and then I had like 4 pictures of fan art around it. The people had done like the logo in Minecraft and stuff.
I bet that's a really cool feeling, though, isn't it, when you finally get some fan art come through.
Oh yeah, when probably one of the biggest ones that anyone's done for me is the Lil Uzi Vert Eternal Take, and it was me.
That's incredible, guys.
And when I got that through on email, I got a random email, and because obviously my email's on my YouTube.
Yeah.
And so when I got that through, and this guy was just like, "Oh yeah, I just, mocked this up," and I was like, "Ah, that's
So sick,
that's mad."
You need to get that printed on like a vinyl cover. Obviously no vinyl side, but just have that. It's
so yeah, fan art's something I've always loved to receive. I've had a few pieces now and then come through.
Can you remember your first piece of fan art, and what was it?
It was probably back in the day. A lot of people just put my logo on Minecraft. If we're talking actual photos, there was a time where I got a couple through, and yeah, there was. I don't know if you remember this, but on my old channel there was a picture, or the logo used to be me with my mouth really wide open, like ah. I don't know if you remember.
Was
it
it the
one?
Was it the one we had the banner, and you was kind of like going? Like, you
no, it's not that one. It's not that one. We're not bringing that up. But yeah, it was around that time. I had the massive slick back hair and my mouth was wide open, and someone did that on a picture. Someone actually drew me, like, because obviously majority of them are like digital art, and someone actually once like sketched it out, and it was actually a sick drawing. And I remember just looking at it like mad. So, yeah.
So sick. So going on to the T-shirt, which is in your shrine of yourself.
Yeah.
Obviously, you wore that when we went to Insomnia a long, long time ago. You got a lot of autographs from it. Obviously, going into that as a smaller YouTuber with not many subscribers, did you see that as like a push could you see yourself being at an event just like that with people coming up to you and you being the centre of attention? And was it a big driving point to try and push a YouTube channel to the best it could be?
See, it's a weird thing, isn't it? Because, like, you know me, I'm not the most confident person, really, especially in social situations. Like, if I've never been, like, recognised on the street, and I don't think I will for a while anyway, but, like, if someone did, I would just probably freeze up and be like, hello? Like, if anyone asked me for a picture, like, I could not take that photo. Like, if they were like, oh, can you take it? I'd be like, no.
You'd either slip out of your hand because it'd be that sweaty, or you just drop it from shaking.
The picture would just end up being a blur because my hands would just be shaking that much. It just wouldn't work. So, but honestly, doing an event is something I would absolutely love to do. I've applied to do Insomnia loads of times, although obviously it's not been going on the past year because of COVID, and since then, or before that when they were on, I didn't have the subscriber account that I did now, so I'd love to apply again when they actually set it up. But yeah, something like that is a big goal. I don't know how I'd be on stage, like, if I ever got to a point where I did that, because obviously you remember they do like weird game shows and things like that. I don't know how I'd be at that, but I think it'd be sick to do. So yeah, back to the actual question of did it push me? Yeah, I guess it did.
And the whole environment and people going, oh my god, look, Syndicate's here or whatever, and like that could be you. Like you've got the push for that to be you, and all these people trying to find you to get your signature.
Yeah, partly. I mean, it's not something that I like crave. Like when I upload a video, I'm not doing it for the sole purpose of like, oh my god, I want people screaming my name or obsessing over me or whatever. Like, although, can I just on a side topic, a lot of people say that they just make videos for the fun of it, and to an extent, yeah, like we do. Like I make videos because I enjoy making the videos. I don't like. Okay, well, actually, all right. So everyone says that, but then everyone wants it to be a job. Like no one's doing it. No one like. Maybe people who just do like vlogs are doing it just for fun because it's, I don't know, just so they can look back on it like my other channel. But
like your 16th channel.
Yeah. But people who say they're doing it for fun and are putting hours and hours of work in, they're promoting it everywhere.
That's the thing.
No one's doing it for the fun. Maybe back in the day when no one made YouTube money off YouTube. Like I don't know.
You can do it because you enjoy, like gaming, for example. You can do it because you enjoy it, but the hours you have to put in, like for you going back and watching 20, 30 hours of footage, editing it up, publishing it everywhere, getting the advertisement out, and then you go, if I get 4 views, still isn't it, biggie? Like you put hours and hours upon hours into that. You're not doing that just because you enjoy it. You enjoy the gaming part and getting that out.
Yeah.
But the other part's more of the chorey job part, which you need to kind of.
Yeah.
When you start getting a bit of the revenue, it's a bit of a push, and that's what makes it.
I didn't start YouTube for the fact of like, oh, I'm doing this because I need money, but like. Yeah, if I put a video, if anybody who says they do it for fun, if you put a video out and you typically get 1k plus views, if that video gets 50 views that you put out, you are not going to be happy with that video.
No, definitely not.
You're not going to be like, whatever. Like, you're just not.
It's only 30 hours of editing, no matter. I enjoyed it.
So, yeah, I don't really like saying it's just for fun, because like I said, yeah, it is for, like I do enjoy the editing, otherwise I wouldn't put 30-40 hours of editing in. But I would be lying if I didn't say that the end goal is a job with it. So
exactly, definitely is.
Yeah,
definitely is. So you've just reached you're over 30k subs now, which is kind of incredible. It's kind of a massive goal for you, and congratulations on that. But where was the big turning point that you can remember from where it was? you putting out videos and getting the same few kind of subscribers liking and commenting and steady lower 100, around 100, 200 views. Where was the point where you could really see it taking off? And obviously last lockdown, I'm guessing, was kind of a big push, but where was the point before last lockdown which got to 10k? And during the lockdown, what got you from 10k to 30?
Okay, well, if I'm honest, I know you just said that before lockdown, but I do think that the biggest point was last lockdown when...
Yeah, definitely.
So, well...
But 10k subs is still kind of incredible.
Yeah,
It's
so getting to 10k...
achievable number.
Well, a big factor of that... So a big factor of this has been TikTok for the after this. Before that, so I'd obviously got to 10k before TikTok. And a big bit of that, if you remember, was the Instagram meme page.
Yes.
Which obviously got taken down. But yeah, so I'd gotten that to... It must have been like 80,000 followers or something on Instagram.
You grew
Instagram's
that massive as well.
Yeah, Instagram's really easy to grow on because you can just follow loads of people. I mean, they've cracked down on it now, so I don't suggest it now. That's why the account got terminated. But you can follow like 1,000 people a day, and out of that, even if 50 people follow you, that's 50 people a day. Then you start getting natural growth because you've got a base, and you can literally just take like 20 memes off Reddit and put them on Instagram, and yeah. So a big chunk came from that. Fortnite was a big push. I did capitalize a bit on Fortnite, just smacking out the Fortnite content because it got views. Reddit's been a help. If you can get it in the right subreddits, it gets in front of the right people really quickly. But that it doesn't really work for me now because you need a niche, which obviously I don't have. But if say your niche is Minecraft, you can just build a community off a Minecraft Reddit community. So yeah, I did that a bit with Fortnite and things like that. The turning point really was when I started doing TikTok last year. There was a point where I'd be lying if I said it's kept the pace that it did last year. I don't know if that's down to lockdown or whatever. I mean, it is what it is. I'm still growing at a decent rate, so I'm not complaining. But last year was mental. There was a point, I actually remember it just got to a mad point. I can't remember, it might have been April, May time. Because obviously when I'd started TikTok, I had a massive backlog of videos, so I could put like 4 or 5 clips on TikTok a day. Now obviously it's a bit slower because I don't want to keep just spamming content. But yeah, so there was a point where I was getting about 1,000 subscribers a week. I remember actually just going up 1,000 a week, and I remember a point where I was like, I'm going to annoy people just constantly saying thank you on my Instagram for going up, okay? And then I also remember...
So that quick.
Yeah, and I also remember looking at my TikTok analytics, and I was like, I didn't really look at the analytics that much, and the one time I looked in, and I was like, oh my god, the total number of views that I had for the last 28 days was 26 million views.
That's mad enough.
And I mean, now I get probably about 1 million now because I'm uploading a hell of a lot less, but I just remember looking at that and being like, oh my god. And then and then following up from that as well, the viral toothpaste clip.
Of all the clips we've done, well, you've done, I'll join a lot later. I'm surprised that one made it viral.
It somewhat annoys me because it kind of annoys me all the time when like clips I never think. I have a lot of clips that I think, yes, that will do so well, and then I put it on TikTok and it just doesn't, and then I'll put a different one on that I don't think will at all. I think that's like a subpar clip. I like it, but I don't think TikTok will like it, and then it bangs. And that one I did kind of think would slightly bang, but it just kept going. It just kept going and going, and then I think it hit like 900k views in like a day. And then all of a sudden I started getting DMs like, oh, this page has put your clip up, or oh, can I put your clip on my channel, and all this, or can I put my clip on the Instagram page? And then when I started getting messages from like friends and stuff saying, is this your clip, from like meme pages they were following with like 1 million followers, I was like, oh my god. I think I must have gained about 1,000 subscribers within like a couple days.
That TikTok clip was a massive point for YouTube, and obviously it's got to where you are now. So let's go back to when we was in secondary school, so obviously when you started it. It's a bit of a lower point now. We've gone to the highs of reaching 30k now in a viral video. I want to go to a bit of a lower point, a bit of a more serious point. But did you ever get bullied or picked on for having a YouTube channel?
I think it was 50-50. I think thing is, I actually reckon a lot of people who I thought would be the ones to take the mick out of, you know, like the I don't want to say I don't want to say the popular kids, but like the top ones.
I know what you're saying.
Other people who I thought would. I actually like respected it quite a bit, and some of them people even come up to me now and be like, "Oh yeah, I watch your videos and they're sick and all this and things like that," and which I actually appreciate quite a lot. Especially coming from people who, I did think like they would take the mick, but then I think a lot of people actually thought it was kind of cool. I was quite scared to sort of like have it out in the school because I did think, I did think that people would take the mick. But I actually think at the end of the day, a lot of people thought it was kind of cool that I was doing it, especially when I started to get some growth. A lot of people were all right, and then everyone's like, oh, let me come on a video, let me do this, let me be on it, and things like that, and everything. The one thing I got told every single time anybody asked, they'd be like, "Oh, if I come on your video, I'll get 1 million views for you," or whatever. That was always the saying. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, there was points where I did get bullied. When I took that picture, that I thought would be cool for my YouTube banner of me doing a stupid pose. That got shared around a lot and still gets shared around to this day. It does. But to be honest, at this point, I just like I laugh at stuff like that because that was when I was cringy and I was doing stupid stuff, or like cooking with MxZ. A lot of people took the piss out of that, and at the time I was a bit like, oh, because I didn't make that video seriously, and I think a lot of people took it like, what are you doing? And, but now, like looking back, I think it was probably deserved taking the piss out of.
Yeah, I can remember when you first started sharing it about, because I can't remember. I can remember the picture, and I think it was of you in Italy or something. And there's a certain pictures that you had as the profile as your background of your YouTube page when you first started sharing it about, and obviously we all knew about it. Obviously, your close mates knew about it. And I can remember he was like, I'm going to do it. And then he started sharing it around on Facebook. And then for the next day or two, all it was just everyone supporting you and everyone sharing your channel around.
Oh my God, yeah, that was a different point as well. That wasn't even secondary school. That was like a year, 2 years ago. Because I'd never really talked about, obviously, like you say, like people like you and people around our circle knew about it, but I have a lot of like Facebook friends who would not know about it at all because I never talked about it on any, like I never talked about it on like my Instagram or my Snapchat, or I never promoted it on anything of my personal stuff. And then when I did it with a big paragraph saying like, oh, this is what I do. I went to sleep and I woke up and I had like 5 messages off people I never expected to get messages off saying like, I respect this quite a lot, this is pretty sick. Well, like I think because I'd had a bit of a following behind me by that point as well. And then now it's a complete, right, like anybody listening, if you're at school, it's a completely different thing when you're out of school. Like no one cares. Like, and even if they do, like you don't care because it's just like, who cares if someone thinks it's stupid what you do? Like, and
it's not like you're at school anymore where people are going to keep bringing it up and kind of tormenting it or anything.
Yeah, or
you're in your own little world now.
It's a mentality that everyone will talk about to you when you're in school, but you'll still never fully understand it until you're out of school. That all the concepts of, say, popularity or anything like that, do not matter whatsoever. It doesn't.
Not at all.
Literally, like, if you've got a close knit friend group of 3 or 4 people, they're the only people who care for you, like care about what you do, and if they support you in what you do, it literally doesn't matter, because you might see someone that you used to go to school with walk on the street. Who cares? I mean, social media plays a little bit of a part in it as well, but I don't go on Facebook. I pretty much removed majority of people who I went to school with because I don't really care. Like, they like, you do you, and that's it. But yeah, I just share anything on social media.
People that took a bit of a backlash, didn't it? When you kind of got that mindset of like, I'm just gonna keep the circle close. I don't want to see stuff I'm not doing. That was when we started to kind of blow up a bit, and everyone was like, "Oh, Mr. Big Time over here, he just removed me on Snapchat because he's got a K subs and shit like that."
Yeah, I hated that because no one understood the reasoning I did it. So yeah, it was about last year, and it was after I'd like blown up a bit, and it was, but that was a completely unrelated thing. Like, yeah, I'd blown up. Yeah. But I was doing this because I was sick of how much time I was spending on social media looking at, like, I hate when I see people, I think even Anna does it, I see her like looking at Snapchat stories of people we used to go to school with, or just people she doesn't even know. And I think, why are you sitting through 10 minutes? It is only 10 minutes, but you're sitting through 10 minutes of Snapchat stories of people's lives who you could not care less about. And you even get into a bit of a sick mentality of like, oh, look at them, they're on holiday. Oh, look at them, they're doing this, that's cool. Like, it breeds such a fear of missing out mentality that I just thought, I don't care. So I removed everyone except for, as you say, my close friendship group. And it was also so that I just spent less time on social media, because the only things I could look at were the people that I was bothered about. And like, I hate this thing about social media, because if, like, there's people I've removed that I would still consider friends and I still like you, but because I've not got you on social media, you think that I'm trying to cut you off and I'm not your friend. Yeah. If you want to be my friend, come and talk to me. Like, I didn't remove anyone on Facebook, because I thought, if you want to message me on Facebook, message me on Facebook. But because I don't go on Facebook except for Messenger, so I just hate the mentality of when I kept going up to people and they were like, "Oh, thinking you're big for your boots now because you've removed me." And I thought, no, it's got nothing to do with that at all. I just either don't like you or don't care to see what you share. So, yeah, that was that.
Fair play, mate. Fair play. So I want to move away from the YouTube scene now, because obviously that's everyone knows you. And obviously, to get to know, I want people to know you a bit further than YouTube. So I want to move on we've touched it briefly, but back to school times. In a quick kind of description, I want you to describe yourself of how you think you was in primary school, in secondary school, and then sixth form, and then how you are now at uni, and how much you think you've changed through the years.
I think each step is like dramatically different. Primary school, in hair, definitely in hair.
I think you've had a different hairstyle for each of them.
Primary school was long, like very long. Secondary school was
the slick back
quiff. It's never been good up until halfway through sixth form, and I pushed it down. But even that didn't look very good, because it was like the shortest little stub of down that every lad in the UK has. And then now it's a mess because I need a haircut, and every lad does, but it's only now that I actually think, yeah, my hair actually looks alright. But then, to be fair, I'll probably change it in like a year's time and think, what on earth was that? So, brief description of each one. Okay, primary school, I was... it's hard, because I obviously I didn't fit into the football kids, so I wasn't like the dead popular, but I think I was good friends with the small group that I had. I mean, it was a long time ago, so I can't really remember. Secondary school, I would describe myself as the outsider popular kid. I was in the group of like popular kids, but I had my own little small group in that popular group, and like, and no one in that group except for probably 2 or 3 actually cared about me. Like that's just how it is at secondary school, really. So I was like the outsider popular kid. Like I got on with everyone, or I like to think I did. I probably did.
Isaac Tuesdays.
Yeah, apart from that. Yeah, right. So yeah, actually, I was probably the butt of the popular group. Like I was just the one who always got picked on, which I was kind of like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I'll take it because I'm in the popular group. It's better than being with whoever. But yeah, that was that. Sixth form.
It wasn't awful. I never really. I would say that was the.
Oh yeah, you lagged a bit then. What did you just say?
I said, I can't.
You said it wasn't awful.
Yeah, I'm not saying that was like, okay. Yeah, it wasn't like awful bullying. Like, it was just. I'm not saying I was the driver of it, but yeah, it was just a bit. It was just quite regular. It's quite.
I think looking back, I was the one that the more insecure people in the popular group like picked on.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't go for the bigger people in the group, so they had to go for the smaller people in the group.
100%, yeah. Definitely.
So I don't really care. Like looking back, I'm like, yeah, it is what it is. Sixth form, I feel like that kind of it slightly carried on in the first year. I mean, I was a bit of a loner for part of that. But the second half, I got to I think I just the second half of sixth form was just like I know who my friends are now, and like I was just like in my tight group of friends, and that was it. Like, yeah, I don't really know how else to explain it except for I kind of just knew who my friends were.
You definitely came out a bit in the second year. Well, was it second year? Or was it second half of the first year?
The second half of the second
year. I was it. Shit, me, it was a long time. Anyway, the second half of it, I think it definitely changed a lot. The negative, the gloom kind of went over.
It was when I just kind of
a bit more.
Yeah, because I think throughout secondary and into the first half of sixth form was when I was still very self-conscious and anxious about everything and things like that, and then I think and just like trying hard to I don't know, be liked, but then at a point I just like I knew I got dead close to like you, Zach, Tom, Chris, Jack, and it just that's kind of when I was just like I don't care, I know who my friends are, let's just do me.
You haven't got to go out and try and prove you something that you're not to get someone to like you. Like, you've got a good circle around you, so you can just be yourself. I think that's a massive point in when you become a lot happier and a lot more confident in yourself. When you've got the right people around you and you don't have to pretend to be someone that you're not, it's just the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, and I think that's even propelled me even further going into uni, because like I was still like I how I said I wasn't bothered about what people say. There was still a part of me that was like, oh, don't like speak out loud. Like if you're asked a question in like a big room, say the sixth form centre, I'd still be a bit like, oh, I don't want to talk. Whereas in uni, honestly, I would actually think I'm a bit like you at uni. Like I talk to everyone. I'd like to think I'm friends with everyone. Like, even online, I'm pretty much the only one to put my webcam on or talk and things like that. Because at uni, I'm kind of just like, I've got to a point where I'm like, that's me. I don't care. And also as well, like, when you get to uni, it's another thing of you don't really care about people who aren't in the. It's not even a popular group, but like. So in like sixth form or secondary school, you don't want to be or talk to certain people because you think, oh, they're not. If someone sees me talking to them, you'll be like, oh. Whereas at uni, you're just like everyone likes different things. No one cares. It's just You just gotta be friendly to everyone. Everyone likes their own things. It is what it is. Yeah.
So I don't go to uni myself, but I can see it's a lot, especially with uni, which will kind of get me onto my next question as well. When you go to uni, you go to do something that you enjoy, that you've got an interest in.
Yeah.
So the people around you are of similar interest. They might not be the same kind of people, but you've got a similar interest, which
you've got a common ground.
You're all there because you want to be there. So like you said, you've got the common ground. So everyone is someone that's approachable and you can talk to in a way, because even if some guys got interested in football and you've got no interest in football, you're both doing the film course, so you've still got that to fall back on, which I think is a good part.
Yeah, and I think as well, like, how do I say this? Like, because everyone wants to be there, everyone's chosen to be there. Like, I always hated the mentality of people at like school and sixth form who were like, I hate it, I don't want to be here. And because everyone wants to be there at uni, everyone's more.
It's a better environment as well.
Yeah, everyone just actually like. I mean, you get the people who don't show up or whatever, but the people like people will try hard and like actually like they want to be there, so they're happier because they want to be there. They're not just being forced to be there. So yeah, uni's a good environment. I do enjoy uni. I mean, once I can actually get back into uni. Yeah.
So we've touched on, obviously, your interests are in the film genre, and that's why you chose to do it at uni. But back in secondary school / sixth form, what were your main hobbies then?
YouTube was still obviously the biggest one. But initially, I didn't even want to go and do film. I didn't really have. I've always liked films, but I didn't really have an interest in making films. My biggest interest was graphics design. I was planning to go and do graphics design at uni, and then I did work experience, and it was one of the worst weeks ever. It was just people sat at a computer, 9 till 5, 5 days a week. Well, they did 6. I only did 5. And just stare at a screen, just pressing the keyboard back and forth, drawing shapes. And I thought, the boss was a dick. I thought, no, not for me.
It's not for me. I'm not doing this.
No, and I struggled quite a lot in sixth form as what I wanted to do at uni or what I wanted to do after. Like, I felt quite a lot of pressure. I think a lot of people do.
I'm still in that stage right now.
And yeah, I've always liked films a lot. It's always been a big part of what I enjoy. Obviously you can see, well, you can't see, but like DVDs and things. And obviously I think it also comes off the back of YouTube stuff. Like I've always filmed stuff, and I thought I could film more. Like if that makes sense, like I could actually make a film, and that concept seems sick to me. And I didn't even know what I wanted to do in film. I'm still kind of figuring that out now, really. But I was like, do I want to do editing? Do I want to be on the camera? Do I want to direct? Do I want to write screenplays and things like that? And I'm slowly figuring that out. But yeah.
What is it?
If you
had to choose right now.
Well, okay. If I could do any role, I would direct film. But I would not like that. This is it's a dream scenario, so it's a very slim likelihood. But I would not like to direct someone else's story, because if it's someone else's story, I don't feel that connected to it. So
yeah, completely.
So I would like to write and direct a film, but I also like editing, which is annoying because I'm like, can I write, edit, and direct a film? Probably not. So I'd love to. In a dream scenario, I'd like to write and direct, because the thing is, I don't want to just direct someone else's story because I don't feel connected to it, and I would absolutely hate to see someone else direct my story, because I know they wouldn't do what I envisioned in my head.
That's what I think. As a writer, you can't put all your expressions onto paper. Like the way you think of a certain scene or a certain line.
The way I write is I picture I picture it as something I would be watching, and I don't think someone else could do that as justice. Screenwriters do have a big part in the process of like making the film, but they couldn't. they just couldn't do what I want to write justice, I don't think. So in a dream scenario, I would love to write and direct, but that is quite hard. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's quite a task, but you keep grinding, mate. You could get there. You could get there. What was your biggest lesson interest when you was back in school? What was the lesson that obviously you only had a set compulsory lessons and you got to choose 3 or 4? What was your favourite lessons at school?
I'd say IT, but parts of IT. I remember when we did the tasks of like creating stuff. That's always kind of where I've excelled, like creating logos or websites or. That was a hidden pun. That was. Yeah, just anything where I could create stuff like that, like when we did make a business. I didn't like the writing side of it, but I liked making a logo and creating things like that. Yeah. So I'd say that product design was good. Yeah, I was never good at like
what a piss about that was.
I was never good at like the actual making side. Really, it never came out how I wanted it to look, but I did enjoy. Yeah, I enjoyed like creating stuff. I guess creating ideas for things and things like that. Anything to do creating. Like at A level, I did English literature, but if English language was the option, I would 100% take that over that, because creative writing was that's something I've always been interested since like primary school. Creative writing, like writing stories and things like that.
That's one part where we differ, because I can't stand it. I've never been good at it.
Not
the fact that I don't like it. It's the fact I'm just awful at it.
I remember back in primary school when we'd have like a day of like creating writing to like create a story, and everyone else would be done after like 3 pages. And I remember one time I'd wrote like a 28-page story, because back in primary school I think I actually wanted to be an author. I actually like made a book.
Yeah.
It wasn't very good looking back at it now, but yeah, just anything where I could create something is the lessons that I enjoyed. I think I've just always been somebody who I'm not good at physical activity. I'm not good at math or remembering stuff in science, but creating ideas and things like that, I'm all right. I'm all right at that.
I'd say you're probably a little bit better than all right, mate. I put yourself down a little bit. So, sixth form, one of my best memories whilst I was there was driving to and from Morrison's, driving home, everything like that. Just blasting music out, getting told off for driving down the drive too fast. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you don't drive. Why haven't you started to learn, and what's kind of put you off for so long?
Well, I guess when I turned, is it 17? Yeah, it's 17.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah. When I turned 17, I didn't have the money for it. So, well, my mum and dad said they'd buy me like 10 lessons, and that's not really enough to complete it, and I couldn't afford to do any more after that. So I thought there's not really that much point in starting if I'm just going to stop. I thought I'll do it later when I get a job. Then when I got a job, I wasn't really in the right place or mindset to be driving. So I thought, no, I'll leave it. Then I don't know.
That's not where I thought that was going, I'm not going to lie. I thought it would have been how awful the job was and how bad you was at it, not that it was. I started laughing when you started. You said that.
No. Then I don't know, I guess you lot drove, so I was kind of like, well, I don't really need to. I've never really had a proper job as well where I could even get a car, so I thought there's not that much point. And then I was meant to last year, COVID happened, then I was going to do it later in the year, then I spaffed all my money on stuff and couldn't afford it. Then I thought, I'll do it in the new year, I'll definitely do it in this new year. I messaged the driving instructor and stuff, and then lockdown 3 happened, so I've just not been able to.
To be fair, yeah, I don't know if it was your biggest push, but I remember talking to you a while ago when you was living at uni. one of your biggest drives to moving home was to be able to learn to drive. Because obviously you can't do when you're living in a town centre.
Well, yeah, that's another point really as well, isn't it? That by the time that I got to a point where I could have learned to drive, I decided that I was living in town. So I thought, well, what's the point in learning to drive if I'm just gonna not use it for years to come? So yeah, that was another point.
Obviously, then lockdown happened when you finally got back. So it's just not felt quite well for you, has it, mate?
Yeah, it's not something. I don't know. It's not something that excites me. Like I don't mind the occasional episode of Top Gear, but I like it more for the banter than the cars. Like, obviously, I'm really not like a lad who likes like football and cars. Like, just cars just don't really interest me that much, except for Teslas. It's about the only thing that interests me. Like, I'd take a Tesla over any car. Like even like supercars and stuff. I'd take a Tesla over that any day. So yeah, it's just not really been that much of an interest for me, and the thought of driving it doesn't scare me. It just makes me a bit nervous, thinking I'm in control of a car. But I guess that's just because the inexperience of it.
Yeah, it all comes with the experience.
Yeah.
And you kind of learn when you've crashed multiple times as well. It all comes with the experience.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my driving topic finished. There's not a lot to talk about really. But seeing it's a birthday special for you, I wanted to ask you, within your family, have you got any set birthday traditions?
Except for waking up early and going and sitting on my mum and dad's bed to open presents. Apart from
do you go for a walk?
I mean, we probably will do this year because there's not a whole lot else to do. That is slowly becoming a tradition that we just go to Shipley and do a walk because there's nothing else to do. There's just nothing else to do. So, apart from
how many birthdays have you had in lockdown now? Is it 2?
2. Yes. My last birthday was the first day of lockdown, the first ever day.
Jesus.
I remember sitting there the day before my birthday, and I had plans. And they were like, yeah, lockdown is coming in tomorrow. And tomorrow was my birthday. And I was like, lovely. Can't see anyone. Can't do anything. Fantastic. So, yeah, now I'm going to do it again. I mean, the restrictions are a bit less than they were back then. And people are less scared, so... And it's come to an end soon after, so... Well, hopefully. So, we'll see. But
do you normally go out for a meal when your birthdays, or do you normally have takeaway?
It's the birthday person's choice.
Yeah.
I think as I've got older, I do kind of prefer just takeaway because you just sit at home and just eat, and you don't care. Yeah, you don't have to go anywhere. Don't have to get dressed up.
Jeans on and a jumper, and then go out, and then you have to sit there for ages while your parents have an extra drink. And you just sat there thinking it's 9 o'clock now, and I don't want to do it anymore.
We've always been a bit of a different. We've always been a bit of a different family as well, because, like, I always see people who will go out for a meal and they'll spend, like, a good, 2 or 3 hours there because they're just talking. We order the food, we eat it, and we go. Like, we just don't mess around.
I'm like the first one. You should know me so much when I was younger. Oh, my God.
No, honestly, we'll be in and out of a birthday meal in half an hour if the food comes quick.
It doesn't bother me as much now because I could just drink. But when I was younger, mate, it was absolutely awful. I used to hate going out for meals.
I can imagine. Yeah, we even always say we'll take our time. We'll sit and we'll chill for a bit. We just eat and we're like, yeah, should we go then? Yeah.
Oh dear. So sticking on to the birthday topic. What is the best present you've ever received?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Hard one. Oh God, I don't know. My present from Anna last year was pretty good. Going away.
You want to explain that a little bit more than just going away?
Going away on a holiday with Anna.
Where did you go?
We went to a little log cabin in the woods. It was my first holiday without my family. So yeah, that was pretty good.
Nice
it was lovely, mate.
Go check out Isaac's 4th channel.
Isaac Rose. Yeah. Apart from that, I've not really had
any presents jump out that you can remember. If he was when he was younger, when he was a younger kid, and he's. Any Action Man, Power Rangers that jump out to you that you really wanted when you were younger?
Star Wars toys. A beanbag.
Beanbag?
A beanbag. That's really
Jesus.
it. It's just Star Wars toys. If I could wake up and have like Star Wars toys, I mean, it's coming back round as well. If I can get some Star Wars toys this year, I'd probably be happy. But bloody love Star Wars, mate.
Star Wars.
I've got
So
I've
the
got a
second...
little, hang on, I've got a little baby Yoda Lego toy next to me right now. You'd love to see
Did
it.
you enjoy building that?
I did. It was on Christmas Day. I built it. Or was it Boxing Day? Might have been Boxing
Did it
Day.
bring your childhood back? We used to get Christmas
Oh,
presents.
mate. After I built that, I did
You have a little robot as well.
Yeah,
Robot arm.
but mate, after building the little Lego Star Wars that I got, I was debating splashing like they're about 800 quid, but you can get the Millennium Falcon or the
Jesus.
Death Star, and it's huge. And yeah, there was a big debate whether I wanted to get that. I can't lie. But yeah, it's an expensive hobby to get into.
Very expensive, isn't it? Lego's so expensive.
It's a bit annoying,
cool.
really.
It was cool in that, but it's unbelievably expensive.
It's ridiculous.
Some these
Yeah.
days.
I don't know how kids can afford it as a hobby, because even a little set that you can do within like half an hour is like 40 quid.
The thing is, after you've had some sets, you take them down, then all the pieces mix together, and you never see it again. Like my sister. My sister had hundreds spent on her on Lego
mate.
Friends, I think it was called.
In our
And that's just in
loft,
trays now.
in our loft, we've got a fat plastic box just full of squares.
Lego pieces. Yeah.
I mean, it was all right though. Back in the day, we used to just, if it was like a rainy day, we'd get the box down, just like, make anything out of it. But yeah.
So, ending the birthday topic, what are you planning on doing this year?
For my birthday, not a whole lot. We're still in lockdown. After that, the 28th, you're allowed people in your garden. So have the boys round and Anna
Hello.
for some drinks.
Oh, God, tell me.
I haven't actually told any of you lot that. Yeah, she's gonna be coming as well. That's a conversation I'm scared to have, but yeah, she'll be coming. You boys will be coming. Some drinks, some
Wait,
bevies.
if there's only 6 outside, who are you kicking out?
No one. There's 4 of you plus me. That's 5. Anna 6.
The maths wrong in my head. We'll forget that ever happened. Whoopsies. Right, I just want to end the whole birthday episode with some of your most favourite interests. Music and gaming. It's a bit of a quicker kind of question round. But I want to start off with music first. And I've got a few questions I just want you to answer. So, Who is your favourite artist or artists of all time, for people that don't already know?
Kanye. It'll never be a different answer. Kanye West.
So he's like your undisputed top one. Like no matter what. He doesn't...
no matter what albums get released, they will not beat his discography for me, and like what it's done in not in like a deep way in my life. Like it's not like I get when people say like, oh, his music saved me. It didn't save me. I love his music. So yeah.
Top 3 then. Top 3 without Kanye.
Oh, without Kanye. So
Mm-hmm.
technically top 4. That thing is this. I feel like Kanye always stays number 1, but apart from that, every other one that fluctuates. Like it's completely different all the time. Like it depends who's released. At the moment, I'm trying to think who I even listen to at the moment. It's been a bit of a weird patch for music for me at the moment.
Oh, definitely. I really listen an awful lot at the moment. I used to listen to it all the time.
It's weird as well because I've started moving away so much from the rap. I've got a little bit bored.
Me too.
So people like Bon Iver, he's not rap. Mate, I've even been listening to Taylor Swift recently. Like,
I wasn't expecting that.
I won't put her in my top 3, right? But I'm looking at my vinyls and things. I mean, Juice always kind of be up there. I want to see Denzel Curry, definitely up there. For like every project, I even ordered the other day his 1.5 unlocked vinyl, which was 60 quid. It's like a collector's thing. People like Travis Scott, Tyler Creator, they'll always be up there.
Yep.
Slow Tie at the minute, Kid Cudi at the minute. I know you asked for 3, and I'm giving you loads. Tame Impala, Phoebe Bridgers. They'll come to me in like an hour's time. JID's always good. X used to. I'll say X used to be.
So if I say now, top 3 of all time at the moment, not going off what you listen to at the moment, but just thinking of the great albums, the songs you haven't stopped listening to. Top 3.
I don't know if I could.
Quickfire.
Quickfire. Okay, well, if Kanye is still number 1, I'm gonna say Denzel Curry.
Yep.
Oh God, this is actually such a hard question. I don't even know. Of all time, discarding how I feel at the moment and what they've done like throughout my life, we'll say, not in any particular order, Denzel, XXX, Tentacion, and I want to say Juice WRLD, but I don't know. We'll say Juice WRLD because I can't think of anyone else.
That was a lot harder of a question than I thought it was going to be.
You can't just drop that on me. I don't know. I like too much music.
Yeah, so we're going from favourite artist. I want to know your favourite song of all time now.
Runaway, Kanye. Or Waves by Kanye. Runaway probably takes the cake. Those songs I could listen to on repeat every day, and I probably wouldn't get bored of it. Yeah, there's not much else I can say about that.
I would ask you your top 3 favourite songs of all time, but the fact it's been with artists, I don't know if I want to even go there. So I want to move on to the next one. And I think I might know your answer to this now, but who is your favourite artist at the moment? So a new favourite artist that you've not long come across and you start listening to a lot more.
If you'd asked me a week ago, I would have said Slow Tie. But it changes like every day. Youngblood at the minute. I'm proper into Youngblood at the minute. Yeah.
I've never actually listened to it, I don't think.
It's not really your music, mate, I won't lie. I don't think you'd like it. Unless you like old like
example.
If you like old like Avril Lavigne type, or like MGK's new album, if you've heard any of that. MGK as well. Oh, MGK should have been in my top at the minute. Oh, see, look, I told you they'll come to me over time. Yeah. I'll say.
Your answer for new artist is Youngblood.
Yeah, I mean it'll change by tomorrow, but yeah.
And then finally, just for the music section, what is your favourite song?
Did you already ask me that? Oh, at the moment. What song do I keep? I can't even check my phone because my phone's recording this video. There's a song. Actually, no. This is a really easy question. At the moment, Drake, Lil Baby, Wants and Needs.
Oh, it's so good, isn't it?
I'm playing that like a good 3-4 times a day.
Yeah.
It's so good, bro. Lil Baby's verse is so good. It's so good.
Fair, all 3 of the songs that Drake brought out actually slap. Like, I don't think
I'm not the biggest Rick Ross fan. He kind of bores me. So that I like that song, but I don't listen to it. The first one, I didn't even notice the first one when I clicked on the EP. I saw for some reason I just didn't see the first one. And I just saw 2 songs. I thought, that's a really short little pack. Yeah. 2 songs. And yeah, I went back and found the other one.
Yeah. There's a little snippet, wasn't it? I can't remember what it's called. The one that you did on his own. That was released like a few weeks ago, the little snippet it was. Yeah, it's the little snippet where he's on about like, New Year's all I did was rest, okay? Yeah, that was it, yeah. But yeah, the Lil Baby one is stupid. It's... The way the bass comes in at the beginning, it is fantastic. Yeah,
That is my current song.
Good answer, mate. Good answer. So the final topic of the episode that I've got is going on to gaming, which you've grew your whole career of YouTube on. But what is your favourite game of all time?
That's hard. There's a part of me that wants to say Minecraft. Just because it's always been there. But then when I think back to what game I've had the most memories on, it'll be GTA. If I go way back, then like, actually, Minecraft or GTA, I reckon's always been there. One of them two.
One of them two. I'll take that as an answer. So this one's a bit of a different question. What's been your favourite franchise of games of all time?
See, I can't say GTA for that one because I'll be honest, I didn't really play any before 5. I played 4 a little bit.
Really?
I played 3 on my iPad.
Yeah, I played that. The thing with that is I brought up my phone years ago and I did the first 2 missions, then I just can't play it anymore.
I just remember
running around on it. I played the first 2 missions about 6 times, 7 times. Just can't get into it.
Series of games. Part of me would like to say COD, but I don't know.
I talk about it. I can't actually think of any other. So there's Halo,
I wasn't a Halo guy. I wasn't a Gears War. Uncharted was good. I never played the 4th one though, so I can't really say that it's my favourite series.
Did you ever play Infamous?
I think I played it for about 5 minutes. This is the issue with me. If it's a campaign game, I won't. There's not many campaign games I've finished. There's a lot I've started. There's not many I've finished. Batman Arkham Knight series, they're good.
Yeah,
that's a good series. I'd probably put them as top. Yeah.
That's a solid answer, mate. To be fair, very solid answer.
Yeah.
So, what games are you playing? What new games are you playing now that you're into?
At the moment, Cold War's okay. It's a bit of a stale point in it for games. I think we're all feeling it.
Massive stale point, mate. I think it's keeping going with game is FIFA. That genuinely is it. And the new Spider-Man PS5 class.
Yesterday, I started playing Battlefront 2, and I can't lie, it is fantastic. It's very good. It is very good. I played that. That's the first time I've played a game solo for a couple of hours in a long time. Because the game mode, because thing is, I've just finished Clone Wars, and Darth Maul's a big thing in that. I'm assuming you know who Darth Maul is. Please don't disappoint me.
Yes, of course I know who Darth Maul is.
Okay, thank you. And he's in that, and bro, you can there's like the 4v4 Jedi mode. There was like 4 people, and I force pushed them all into my.
That's the thing. You know when you're watching something and there's a game of it. It's just incredible. Like, me and the missus are watching it for all the Marvel films, and apparently the Marvel game that came out is awful. But I've had a massive urge to buy it, just to taz around with Thor and.
Bro, when I spawned in, because I spawned in on, you won't know anything that I'm about to say, but I spawned in on Camino as a clone, and I've just finished the Clone Wars where they're always at Camino, and I just saw this massive battle taking place, and there was the
it is good. It's good feeling.
Yeah, but I think they've done such a good job on that game though, like immersion wise, because there's like ships flying all over you, there's things exploding, and like the players, like the 40v40 modes are so good. That's such a good game. So that's probably what I'm playing most at the minute, I would say. Yeah.
Right, and the last question that I've got for you wrote down is, what new games are you looking forward to?
New games I'm looking forward to. The Forest 2 looks alright. I don't know. It's been a while since I've actually looked forward to a game. I mean, I could say GTA 6, but when that comes out, you'll never know.
I'm looking forward to the 3rd remaster of GTA 5 on the PS5.
Are you actually, or?
No. I'm really not looking forward to it. It's just there's no point. No one's interested anymore. Everyone's played the hell out of it on current gen.
But then the issue is that apparently they aren't working that much on another game because the success of GTA 5, because there's still a lot of people playing it, is still so strong. It's like, yeah, but what about us? What about the other guy?
You'd get so much more interest if they brought something new out. Like they teased this new map that they brought out, but you have to buy it and you can't actually explore it unless you're in a mission. It's like
it's so stupid.
How long's it been out now? 8 years? 8 years? 7, 8 years?
Yeah, honestly,
to be fair though, I could probably like the first lockdown, as you mentioned on the first episode of the podcast. I love GTA back into it. I was really getting back into it, and the thing is, it's still got some kind of playability. Like you could still jump on and have fun, and they're bringing out new stuff, and it's impressive that they've kept it going on for 8 years now, or 7 years with GTA Online.
The thing
but
is,
we just want something new.
I've never played GTA as a serious game. Like, I don't really do any missions. I don't really do any heists. I don't really like that side of it. I more just enjoy it for, we've got a massive open world. Let's all just Taz BMXs around. Let's go get police on us. Let's just go let's just all bike to the top of Mount Chiliad and twaz off the end of it. There's stuff like that. Or the playlists. I do still love the playlist, but yeah. I'm kind of sad though. If you've just said that's the final question, you asked me about games and music. You've not done films,
because I don't know a lot about films myself. That's why. I was going to ask you about it, but I thought I can't talk to you about this. I ain't got a lot to say. I'll try. I'll try my absolute best with the questions I've got.
Okay.
What's your favourite film of all time?
Favorite film of all time. See. Okay, I'm just. Can I skip this and go to like the top 3 or 5?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so.
In no particular order.
No particular order, really. I would say, The Dark Knight. Please, right, I'm going to ask you if you've seen all of these as I go through them. Have you seen The Dark Knight with the Joker? Come on now. You've not seen it. You're lagging a bit. Sorry, I don't really hear it now. But
no, I haven't seen it, mate.
Right, so Dark Knight. Right, well, you need to watch that. Okay. Definitely. Inception. Come on, if you've not seen Inception.
I've seen 10 minutes of it, I'll admit.
Why only 10 minutes?
I watched when I was younger and I got bored.
Right, watch that. Interstellar. You've definitely not seen Interstellar. No?
I haven't. No, mate, I haven't seen that now.
Okay, well, you need to see Interstellar. That's fantastic. You definitely haven't seen Whiplash. Whiplash is fantastic. I'd probably put Whiplash as nearly first.
Is that the new one you watched? No, well, you watched it not long ago.
I watched it, yeah. The thing is, it's been out since 2016, I think.
Was it?
But I haven't watched it till last year. And it's so good. Thing is, all the others about like Dark Knight, Batman, sick. Inception, the whole concept, sick. Interstellar, space, sick. But Whiplash it's just about a guy trying to drum in a jazz band. It's fantastic. It's so good. It doesn't sound very good, right? But it's so good. So yeah, obviously, I mean, you won't be able to tell, but yeah, any film by Christopher Nolan is up there. The Shining, that's a classic. Have you seen The Shining?
No.
Oh God, you've not watched any films, have you?
I've seen Daddy's Home.
You've seen. Have you seen? Come on, have you seen Joker?
Yeah. Yes. Yes,
We've got one.
I have seen.
Lovely.
The thing is with films, right? I actually really like films. When I get into watching them, I do actually enjoy them. It's just sitting down and watching it.
Okay, out of all the films I've just suggested, Us, yeah, it's a fantastic film. Have you seen Get Out though?
Yeah, I've seen Get Out. Which one do you think was better?
Us, definitely Us. Although it wasn't.
I thought the film of Us was a bit crap. Like, the actual film was a bit boring and stuff. But
See,
I looked into it a lot after. The meanings behind it and the way it did
mate, it's
everything,
mad.
The small meanings is insane. Like, the scene where the tethers come into the room and they're all like face to face with each other. It just pans to a scene of a plastic spider on the table with a spider running underneath it, and I was like, no significance to it whatsoever. But when I looked into it after, it was to show that the fake one was on top, and the little one, the actual real one, was running underneath, obviously in the underground. And
see,
some of the small meanings like that is incredible to me.
See, I was kind of the other way around. But don't get me wrong, I loved Get Out. It was a really good film, but I think I'd seen a lot of hype about it, and it didn't, because I think I was expecting major. I was expecting a major horror from it, and it wasn't really a horror. It's more of a thriller.
No.
Whereas Us was a bit more of a horror, I guess. It was still thrillery, but
I thought it was a good film. I think it needed a bit more. I think what he was going for was you think about it a lot, and there's little meanings in it. But I kind of wish it described it a bit more in it, because without me going out and looking at it, I wouldn't have got half of the stuff that was trying to be said.
I think for me, Us is a more enjoyable film for me to watch. It interests me a bit more. A bit more happens. There's a bit more action.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Jordan Peele, the director of both of them, he's really good. So yeah, if
what was you saying?
I was going to say, if you're going to watch any of the films as suggested, Interstellar is one of the best films you'll ever see.
Is it?
I mean, because space films are a little bit tedious sometimes. They're the same thing. The concepts in this film will blow your mind, bro. He goes onto a planet, and it's all scientifically true. It's all real stuff that happens. And he goes on a planet, and because it's so close to a black hole, it kind of warps time. So he goes on this planet for like an hour and something, but on Earth about 30 years has passed. So his daughter is the same age as him when he gets back to the spaceship. So, yeah. I mean, I've kind of spoiled it a bit for you there, but more happens in it than that. So
yeah, by the time I watch it anyway.
So yeah, that I'd put the Revenge of the Sith, Star Wars, as a top film. It's not in my top 5 because it's not a filmy film, but for what it is, Akira is the anime. I really like that. In Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, really good. That's a film you've seen, yeah. Endgame, just for what it's done for me, will always be a top. Always be like a top film. Yeah, I'll leave it as that because I could probably talk about films for a lot longer. But I don't want to drag it on too much, just naming films that you've probably not seen. So yeah, I'll leave it there.
So who's your favourite director of all time?
Christopher Nolan, without a doubt. I'm gonna guess you don't know majority of the films he's done. All of the Batmans. He did all the Batmans. He did Interstellar. He did Inception.
Yes.
Tenet that came out. He's done that. Memento.
I've heard good things about him.
He's probably the. I did Dunkirk. Have you seen Dunkirk? No, you've not even seen Dunkirk. Jesus Christ, man! Watch some films. Yes.
Yeah,
just watch some films, bro. Yeah, just any film by him. Yeah, it's just always mad. I'm not gonna say Quentin Tarantino because I've never been a huge fan of his films. Yeah, Christopher Nolan's always top. I'm trying to think of other directors' names. I can't even think. What's that one guy's name?
I'd love to have that here, mate. Adam Sandler.
Oh, Jesus Christ, what's his name? For anybody watching, he did Grand Budapest Hotel and Isle of Dogs and things like that. His name will come to me in about half an hour. Boon Jong-ho, great director as well. Parasite and things like that. You'll not have seen that because it's a foreign film. But
Oh no,
yeah.
I can't do that.
Bro, Parasite is such a good film. Just read the subtitles.
I can't be doing with it. Well, you know, we like, especially like what was that series called? Is it Heist? Money Heist?
Yeah, the Spanish
Where
one.
that seems, whereas then the mouths don't match up to the words.
You're missed. Wait, no, but that's dubbed. That's not even subtitles.
No, but they don't match up. That's what I mean.
Oh, bro, it doesn't. Oh my god, you are no. Dark on Netflix is the best TV series ever made, and that's dubbed. But you just gotta. Oh, I've just smacked my mic. But you've just gotta get past it, bro. You watch it for a bit. Just focus on the eyes and not the lips, and it doesn't matter. Dark. If anyone's watching this and likes TV series, watch Dark on Netflix. The best TV series ever made. Or Mr. Robot. That's English, so that's good. Rami Malek. Do you know who Rami Malek is?
He was in. Don't know what films he was in, but I know he was in a game.
He's the guy.
Called?
He's the guy who played Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, I knew that. Oh my god, what's that horror game called? A PlayStation exclusive that was like massively harped at the time.
Thingy.
Oh my god, Thing.
I can't actually remember. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it even now. I know what you're on about.
Anyway, it's a class game. He's in that. That is incredible.
Yeah. So. Yeah. If you're looking for a TV show, Mr. Robot is about hackers, but it's deeper than that. Dark is about time travel, but it's deeper than that. There's people whose kid is also their mum. Bruh, how does that even make sense?
I have to watch it and find out, won't I?
Oh no, it hurt my head watching it, but yeah, watch any of them two programs. That wasn't even part of the question, but yeah.
Fair play. One more question I will ask, I've just thought of, and it's related to film, so you'll be happy to hear. What's your favourite film franchise of all time? So a film that's had multiple films in it, or so obviously sequels can be quite disappointing sometimes. What's been a good trilogy of films or ever on that's really stuck out for you?
I'd love to say Star Wars without the newest 3 films. That franchise.
Well, not awful, but it's not great.
Bro, thing is, I'm a massive Star Wars fan, and I've not even watched the 3rd one because I'm just gonna pretend it doesn't exist, because I just know it's not good. But apart from that, like Rogue One's fantastic, and the original 3, the prequels. If anyone says the prequels are bad, you need to be shot in the knee. I'm trying to think of other sequels or trilogies. The Dark Knight trilogy is the best superhero trilogy. I mean, as a franchise, Marvel, as well. Mm-hmm. But to be honest, I don't know. Obviously, I love Marvel, but they've had a few misses, haven't they? I mean, Thor, Dark World, awful. Captain Marvel, awful. Captain America, the first one's pretty awful.
Captain Marvel was alright.
I hate Brie Larson, so I just can't get past that. Ant-Man's a bit meh. And now as well, I feel like it's just going to get worse and worse now that Endgame's done. Emotionally, I'm kind of done with the franchise, but it's going to try and pick it back up.
It is done now, really. Let's be honest, it's done.
It's done. I mean, Spider-Man Far From Home did a nice, it did nicely, and I do still care about it. I watched WandaVision. I'm going to watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm excited for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse. But it's just not.
I'm excited for the Black Widow film.
Of course you are.
Series, whatever it is.
It's a film, but no, it's not. It's not gonna. It's never gonna do the same thing for me as it has done. So
no, never.
No. And plus, those films. This is just on a completely separate point. All these films are being completely ruined by theorizers because WandaVision. Every week, everyone was like, "Oh my god, this is happening! Doctor Strange is coming in it, bro. The X-Men are coming in it, bro. The Mephisto, the multiverse, all this." nothing happened. Nothing happened that everybody said. So it was all hyped up, and then because nothing happened, everyone was a bit disappointed with it. Whereas if no one theorised, I would have just watched it for what it was, rather than waiting for stuff to happen. And been like, oh yeah, that was good, rather than being like, oh yeah, but that didn't happen. And I thought that was because I saw someone on TikTok say it was going to happen. So, yeah, that the theory community is kind of ruining Marvel films, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway.
That's all me done, mate, for your birthday special.
Okay, this has been like the longest episode ever, which kind of looks a bit what's the word?
Maybe a 2-parter at this rate. I don't know how long we've been doing it for.
Nearly 2 hours. It's been an hour and 40.
Is it?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Which looks really bad because it's my own episode, and I promise I'm not trying to make it the longest. But I like to talk about things I like to talk about, so I guess that's why. All right. Thank you, Liam, for being the host of this episode, in a way.
It's been an absolute pleasure, mate.
Would you like to shout out your podcast?
I would love to shout out my podcast. So, for all your football fans out there, I've got a football podcast called the Box to Box Podcast. Check it out on Spotify, YouTube. I'm getting close to 50 subs on YouTube. So if I can hit that, that'd be incredible. It's nowhere near Isaac's 30k mark, but we're surely getting there. So yeah, if you're gonna go check that out, that'd be a massive, massive help.
All right. Thank you, and
The Box to Box.
goodbye.
Bye.
Cheers, mate.